gonna let the wind power take me over. It's a bit shallow today. Just don't want to wreck a prop. There's a nice little shark to start the day for good luck. Let's take a look. These can be very dangerous, people. If someone catches one and puts it in the freezer and then hits you over the head with it, you could end up with a very nasty headache. But that's the extent of their dangerous nature. In the water, they are not dangerous at all. They're just doing their thing and trying to get a feed. Too easy, people. I'm not taking that shot. So we see some snappers in the distance. What do? Well, look, the bottom is not as broken up as I'd like it to be. Normally I like these nooks and crannies and you hide in the tunnels and you come out over there and they're here and then you go in this tunnel over there and then they're there. Yeah, it's just like hide and seek. It's not like that. There's not so many tunnels here. It's a bit broken, so I use whatever I can to conceal myself. Every so often I'll go up and I'll take a look just to see what's up, to see if I'm getting closer or maybe they're coming closer to me. I go back down, I see this cheeky one right there. What a cheeky little bugger. I'm not going to shoot it because, quite frankly, it's too early in the dive and I haven't built up enough tension and excitement for all three of you out there. It's all about the falsifying of drama, people. No, I'm only kidding. The fish is already on its way and I'd be chasing it. And you don't want to chase fish, people. Look at how slowly and carefully I raise myself up. I'm going to stop it here and put a circle around myself because I'm literally a master of disguise and camouflage. I'm just kidding, people. I'm just standing out like dog's balls. But it doesn't really matter because it's just my head and a bit of my shoulder and the shooting arm, which is about the approximate size of the fish I'm after. And so I'm not really going to be posing a threat being such a small shape. If I hide too much, if I'm too inconspicuous, I'm not going to generate enough interest for the fish out there to want to come and take a closer look. And lo and behold, here comes Barry, sitting like a cow in a paddock. Now, you know how I feel about shooting cows in a paddock. I'm just not going to do it. I keep looking around and I see Gary out back. Gary and Barry, they're good mates. They'll meet at the pub afterwards and discuss all of this, incompetent spearing video that I'm preparing, no doubt. So I'm going to go after Gary. It might be a bit of a harder shot, but look at what I'm doing wrong here, people. I mean, I am chasing the fish. I am finning so much after the fish that you can see the wobble in the gun as I'm swimming. Now, look, contrary to what a lot of people think, fish are actually super good swimmers and really efficient, and they are way better swimming than human beings. An apparent fact that I don't know in this video. So I'm doing all the things wrong and I'm swimming out fish. I mean, Barry is laughing his head off and he can't wait to catch up to Gary, his friend, to tell him how much of an amateur I am. I mean, normally they meet at the pub after the spearing day is over and they talk about this larrikin that's chasing them all over the place and they have a good old laugh. But Barry wants to tell the story to Gary now, and so Barry, you know, goes up and he says, look, who does this guy think he is? Aquaman or something? And Gary's going, yeah. Now Gary, he does notice that I'm sort of targeting him and the gun is aimed at him. And he wants to get away. He wants to use his efficiency as a fish to get away. But Gary and Barry are mates, and you know, mates look after each other. And Gary wants Barry to feel important, so he wants to listen to Barry's story. And so Gary hangs back to listen about the Aquaman joke, and he gives a bit of a fish laugh, and then I managed to take the shot. Now, you remember from a few episodes ago when I said you don't want to have the fish having discussions? You want to just sort of come up on them suddenly, ambush them, and whammo. Remember that? Well, in this case, fish having discussions actually worked out to my favour. Go figure. Now, I hope you don't believe all of that nonsense, people. In all seriousness, look, following shots are inherently a bad idea. Look, so many things wrong, it's not funny. Number one, the fish is way better a swimmer than you, and you're chasing the fish. Wrong. Number two, the fish is in an oblique angle, so basically you've got a smaller target. Number three, the fish is swimming away from the shaft, which means its relative velocity is much less, and so the impacting force of the spear is going to be less, especially if they really rock it off. I mean, they'll kick that shaft out of them before that flopper can open. If the shaft does go in, and it has to be a sharp spear shaft, because at an angle, what I tend to find, because you know, sometimes my spear is not as sharp as it ought to be, it will flick off some scales and bounce off the flesh, and the fish will kick it off actually, and it'll take off. Yes, you're going to hurt the fish a bit, knock off some scales. It probably won't die, but we don't want to hurt fish, so it's not a good idea to do that. If your spear shaft is sharp enough, it could go in, but if it runs along the length of the body, and the fish is still swimming, the shaft, the flopper, mightn't be able to open up in the flesh, and so as it kicks, it'll pull the shaft out and kick the shaft away. So you're going to injure the fish, depending on how far the shaft went in. It could have gone into the gut cavity, could have made a whole lot of mess. Again, the fish is wounded. You don't want to do that. You want to get the fish completely and kill it and then eat it, not wound it. The other situation is if you do get it, so you spear into it, it's going to go run up the whole fillet, it's going to damage a lot of gear, a lot of endorphins and chemicals are going to go into it, it's going to spoil the flesh, not to mention if you get into the gut zone and the bile sac or whatever. It's just not a good idea, people. Yes, sometimes it's good to do following shots, but it's not really you chasing the fish, and so the fish is going away from you. You're allowing a larger fish, a very powerful fish like a cobia or a kingfish, or so a Samson fish. You're actually allowing them to go past, so you're going to shoot through them. So the shaft, when they take off, the shaft is not going to be at 90 degrees, and then it's going to suffer a tremendous bending moment on it, which is probably going to bugger the shaft. What you want to do is you aim at an angle, so you put it through the back. Hopefully it'll knock off a lateral line or get in the backbone or in the back of the head even and just knock it out. But if not, it goes through it, and then when it takes off, the shaft then lays along its side, and yes, it does bend, but it's not going to bend irreparably. It'll just flex back and it'll still be a straight shaft. So yes, if the big powerful fish, yes, a following shot, so you bait, but it's not really you following it, you're allowing it to go past, and then you place the shot as it's going past you. There you go, people. That's following shots. I hope you never see another example of a following shot from me again. And just to look at how I was aiming to hit this fish, my old wayward shaft is doing its usual thing. So we aim right just about here, and we get the fish here. In any event, we are very lucky to get that fish. You're probably aware of my don't shoot a cow just sitting in the paddock rule. Yes, you probably think it's crazy. Why would you do that when the fish is there and I could just put it on my plate straight away? Well, I just regard it as unsportsmanlike, people. It's just sitting there, you know, it could be daydreaming. I daydream a bit too. I don't want someone to come up and go and blow me away. Seems a bit unfair. Well, I have also some other rules, and they're sort of a bit related. Okay, so this is my rule, well, these are my rules of engagement. I'll just give you one more rule. There's other rules, but we'll get to them, people. So the other rule is don't shoot a fish sitting under a ledge and also in a cave, especially when the only way out for the fish is to come out at you or just to the side of you. I mean, again, unsportsmanlike. I mean, it's sitting in its home, it's enjoying itself, it's thinking about what it's going to do with its mates tomorrow or even this afternoon at the pub. I mean, you're at home, you've got a tinny, a coldie, a beer, and you're watching the gridiron, the footy, the Aussie rules, the badminton, probably not badminton. You're watching that, and someone comes and shoots you in the head. It's a bit unsportsmanlike. It's unfair. I think you'd be a bit pissed. And look, I don't know if fish get pissed or not, but I think it's a bit upset that it's got a spear in its head. So I have this rule. Now it's a bit of a bug of a rule because a lot of the time fish are under ledges and in caves because that's where they hang out. So the whole idea, it makes it harder, it's more of a hunt, and I'm about trying to catch them out or trying to catch them out in the open. Check out this example here. These fish are just hanging under this ledge and they know that they're fine. So they get a bit wise to it. And I mean, they can actually hide in the nooks and crannies behind, you know, go deeper into the coral. But no, they choose to just hang there. And look, if you listen carefully enough, I think you can hear them blowing raspberries at me. So they're making fun of me, but that's okay. They can make fun of me because if you do things on principle, sometimes people will make fun of you. Anyway, so, yeah, there's another raspberry. So they're sort of flaunting the rule against you because they know they're fair game when they're up and they go, oh, better duck down here. They're a bit like the Taliban, really. Hey, buddy, is that your AK-47 and that knapsack full of rocket-propelled grenades? Oh, no, sir. That's not mine. I'm out here in the middle of nowhere picking daisies. Yeah, no, that's my best accent. Yeah, so they're flaunting the rules. Well, they're not really like the Taliban. These fish are much more smarter than the Taliban. Oh, you just hear that? I lost my only Taliban supporter. I should shut up about that because, whoa, I'll get in trouble. Anyway, so I have these rules to balance it up and to make it harder. Well, that's about it for this fun-filled episode, people. That was 4 days effort of editing, would you believe? Just editing, not me being in the water. Yes, I know it takes a stupendous amount of time. And if you ask me to say where was the time, sometimes I don't know. But I've been sitting on my bum over there for too long. Anyway, I hope you appreciate it. Now, I don't want to be an alarmist, I don't want to freak you out, but our numbers are not great. Our viewing numbers are going down into the toilet, and I put it down to two things. It's either me being me, or the fact that no one likes the content. So, well, you guys like it, so perhaps people that you know, like-minded people, might actually enjoy it. So if you could share it to these people, that would be greatly appreciated, because it's entirely up to you. I mean, apart from me doing the videos, it's entirely up to you. And when you like it, subscribe it, and feeding the algorithm and sharing to your friends, that is what's going to make this channel, well, keep on going. So if you can, do what you can. So hopefully I'll see you next week. I forgot. I've got a 11-year-old fan called Parker, and it's good to hear from his dad. He said, you know, Parker's a great friend. Parker, maybe you can share it to your friends, because it would be great to see comments from younger people, and in fact, comments from yourself. So, younger people, older people, middle-aged people, doesn't matter. Do what you can, share it around, and hopefully like, subscribe, and the bell thingy. Hopefully, I'll see you next week.